Man, would you believe that this so-called Slender Man was born on the internet? Yep. The dude didn't come from a forest, or some ancient cemetery, or a spooky portal. He came straight out of an online forum full of people with way too much free time and way too much imagination. It all started back in 2009 on a website called Something Awful, which honestly, already sounds like a place where something weird is bound to happen. A guy decided to grab some old photos of kids playing and out of nowhere, added a tall, skinny man in a black suit lurking in the background. Kind of like that weird uncle who shows up uninvited in every family picture. But the real kicker? The face, or rather, the total lack of one. The guy had no eyes, no mouth, no nose. Nothing. He looked like a mannequin that went to a tailor but skipped the face shop. And then boom. The internet did what the internet does best. Had a collective panic attack. People started saying things like, "Hey, I've seen that man before. He's in my childhood photos. I think he looked at me yesterday, or at least I think he did since, no eyes." From there, the legend grew. Everyone had their own version. Some said he lived in the forest, others claimed he appeared near schools, and a few even swore he used their home Wi-Fi to pop up on their webcam. But think about it, if Slender Man is that tall, skinny, and dressed in a black suit, how does he not stand out? Unless people are confusing him with a lamppost. And just like that, half scary, half hilarious, the faceless man started his rise to fame as one of the internet's most famous creatures. Basically, a fear influencer, who didn't even need an Instagram account. So, remember that tall guy in a suit people saw in those old photos? Well, things got out of hand. Slender Man started as a simple internet joke, but folks took it so seriously it was like they'd summoned him through Wi-Fi. Soon stories started popping up everywhere, and each one was wilder than the last. One person said he lived in the woods, like a very overdressed scout. Another swore he hung around playgrounds, which is weird, because honestly, a nearly 10-foot-tall guy on a swing isn't exactly subtle, right? And the same detail always came up: he had no face. None. No little eyes, no eyebrows, not even that expression of someone who just forgot their password. Nothing. Just that eternal, "I'm silently judging you" look. People began saying he could mess with your mind, that if you just looked at him, or thought you did, because who knows where his eyes even are, you'd start feeling dizzy, forget stuff, get chills. Kind of like that moment when you suddenly remember you left the stove on. But the strangest part? Nobody knew what Slender Man wanted. He didn't talk, didn't make a sound, just stood there, watching. And that's what makes it creepy, because, let's be honest, nothing's scarier than someone way too quiet. If he screamed, fine, you'd just run and be done with it. But a tall guy in a suit, standing still, silently staring at you? Nope. That's way worse. As time went on, Slender Man's fame exploded. From an internet meme, he became a full-blown urban legend. People talked about him like that mysterious cousin nobody's met, but everyone swears exists. Some even swore, "I saw Slender Man in my backyard." Then someone else would reply, "That was the clothesline, Maria." And Maria, offended, would say, "Yeah, but the clothesline was wearing a suit." And that's how it all spread, through fear, imagination, and a healthy dose of exaggeration. The perfect recipe for a great story to tell in the dark. Man, if before Slender Man only lived in photos, now the guy decided to start a YouTube career. It all began when a group of young people had the brilliant idea to create a series called Marble Hornets. It was kind of a documentary, Those videos where someone films thinking everything's fine, but the camera shakes too much, the light flickers, and suddenly there's something in the background, way back there, and you're already yelling, "Buddy, don't turn the camera that way." So yeah, these folks started filming weird places, and of course our dear Slender Man decided to show up, or well, not show up considering he doesn't have a face. He'd always be there in the background, standing still, staring. Always wearing a suit, always tall and skinny, and always with that "I wasn't invited, but I came anyway" vibe. The crazy part is, the more they filmed, the weirder things got. They recorded strange noises, lights flickered, videos froze for no reason, and their friends started acting weird. They looked kinda lost, kinda confused, like when you walk into the kitchen and forget why you went there. And the audience? Oh boy, the audience was divided. Half of them said, "It's all fake, just editing tricks." And the other half swore, "No, it's real. Look, he's breathing. I think he is." And the funniest part? The channel blew up like crazy, true internet viral status. People spent hours pausing the videos, zooming in, analyzing frame by frame like a CSI for spooky stuff. Some even claimed they saw Slender Man in other videos. Like someone would be watching a makeup vlog and swear they saw the faceless guy in the mirror, waving hello. But the creepiest part? Some creators started disappearing from the internet after a while. No one knows if it was fear, or if they just got tired of editing videos at 3 a.m. while a faceless dude haunted their USB drives. And that's how Slender Man became the first horror influencer. No talking, no sponsorships, no public appearances, yet everyone talked about him. If that's not dark charisma, I don't know what is. Man, can you believe some people started seeing Slender Man in real life? Yep. The thing jumped straight out of the internet and into people's minds. It was enough to open your window at night and instantly have a mini heart attack. Oh my gosh, is that Slender Man or just the clothesline full of sheets? The truth is, fear started spreading like wildfire. Some people dreamed about him, others claimed to see the faceless man in old photos, and a few even swore they saw him reflected in their turned-off TV. Which honestly is proof that no one should leave their TV off at night. It's basically a free jump scare mirror. Psychologists even came up with a fancy name for it, the Slender Man effect. Basically, it's when collective fear gets so strong that people start imagining the creature for real. Kind of like when someone says cockroach, and you instantly feel something crawling up your leg. It's psychological, but that chill down your spine? Oh, that's real. And the funniest part is that stories started popping up everywhere. One person said, "I saw Slender Man in the forest." Another replied, "But there's no forest here, John." And John, offended, said, "Then he must have caught a ride with someone, duh." And just like that, Slender Man became an invisible celebrity. Some people formed groups to go hunt him, others started drawing him, and there were even folks who swore they saw him waiting for the bus, all fancy, holding an imaginary briefcase. But the strangest thing of all? No one knew if Slender Man was real or just a product of the imagination. After all, he was never clearly filmed, never gave interviews, he doesn't even have a mouth, and yet everyone talked about him like he was their creepy neighbor. And look, if there's one thing Slender Man understands, it's marketing. The guy has no face, no voice, no social media, and still managed to become famous worldwide. That's the ultimate stay mysterious and they'll come looking for you strategy. So next time you think you see Slender Man in your window, relax. It might just be the fridge reflection. Or maybe not. Man, remember when Slender Man was just an internet character? Well, people decided to take the guy way too seriously. What was supposed to be just a fun little legend ended up turning into one of those stories that even make it to TV. It all started with some stories that popped up in the United States. Two very young girls claimed that Slender Man was talking to them. Not by phone, of course, after all, he doesn't even have a mouth. But according to them, he sent signs like "Look over there, come here, trust me." And poor things, they believed it so much that they ended up in a huge mess. The case became national news. Newspapers, radio, internet, everyone was talking about the so-called Slender effect. People started realizing that fear had gone a bit off the rails, because when you believe too much in a story, sometimes your imagination just runs wild, right? Then came the experts, psychologists, reporters, and even that uncle at the barbecue who always thinks he knows everything, saying things like, "I knew that guy in a suit wasn't up to any good. There you go, proof." Meanwhile, Slender Man, if he even exists, was probably somewhere in the woods thinking, "Guys, I was just chilling. I don't even know what's going on." But that case really opened people's eyes. It showed that the internet is powerful. A story can start as a joke, and before you know it, people are swearing it's real. And all of this because of a faceless dude in a suit who's apparently great at photobombing but terrible at explaining what he wants. In the end, Slender Man became a kind of symbol for the power of imagination. He proved that when collective fear mixes with human curiosity, the result is a legend that nobody knows if it's real, but everyone still gets that little chill down their spine just thinking about it. So here's the lesson. Next time you hear a spooky story online, take a deep breath, turn off your phone flashlight, and remember, maybe it's just another Slender Man, or the reflection of your coat hanger in the corner of the room. Man, after all that confusion, mystery, and jump scare videos, Slender Man kinda became a celebrity in the horror world. But not just any celebrity. He's like that mysterious artist who never gives interviews, never shows up at events, and yet people can't stop talking about him. Nowadays, he's everywhere: movies, games, memes. There's even t-shirts with his face, which is funny, because he doesn't have one. Basically, it's a shirt with a blank space, but people buy it anyway. And the strangest part? After all these years, no one has ever proven anything about him. No clear records, no sharp videos, just those shaky recordings with someone screaming, "Did you see that?" He was right there. And when you pause the video, it's just a street light, or a clothesline, or the neighbor in a suit going to work. But the mystery stuck around. Some say Slender Man appears when you think about him too much, so careful now, okay? Others think he's like a digital ghost that feeds on attention. The more people talk about him, the stronger he gets in our imagination. And honestly, if that's true, the guy must be ripped, because the amount of videos people made about him could fill a whole library of fear. Now, the funny part is that in a way, Slender Man became a pop culture icon. A symbol of internet power, that mix of fear, creativity, and people who really should be asleep but are instead watching scary videos at 3 a.m. And yes, if you're reading this in the middle of the night, close this tab and turn on the lights. Trust me. And so, my friend, Slender Man stopped being just a character and became a living, or at least online legend. No one knows where he came from, where he's going, or why he always wears the same suit. Is it the same one since 2009? But one thing's for sure, the faceless man achieved what many dream of, eternal fame without saying a single word. So next time you hear a noise in the dark, don't worry. It's probably just the wind. Or the cat. Or someone very elegant and very quiet, just watching. So that's today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next story.